I think it's Hallelujah.
Right, it's not Hallelujah. There's no way that it's his best song. There's just no way. There's no way. I mean, Hallelujah is basically the fur release of Leonard Cohen.
Hi guys, Ariel Johnny here, and today we're checking out Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. We're going to be basing the lesson on the Jeff Buckley version, which has a lot of fingerstyle and fingerpicking patterns.
If you've liked, then just like and subscribe and ring the notification. It's not actually like that. I think you actually just ring it with a normal strike. Bah! I would appreciate that a lot. Enjoy, guys. I'll see you later.
See you soon. Well, see you straight.
See you later. I mean, we're going to see them immediately. So the way we're going to look at the song today is in 3 sections. We've got the introduction, 4 bars, 1 line. Then we've got the verse, which is going to be 4 lines, 4 bars each. So that's a 16-bar verse. And then we've got the chorus, which is 8 bars. Now the song goes introduction, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, depending on how many verses you do. The main thing is just to get the different sections. Intro, verse, chorus. And then in between each repeat of the verse and the chorus, after the chorus, we repeat the introduction to get us back into the next verse.
This song has only 5 chords. The 4 most basic chords, G, C, D, and E minor, and 1 special chord, the B7. So you could play the G any way you like. You could do it this way, that way, or if you're just starting out, just use this. The same for the C. You can do this shape here, nice juicy shape, or this one here if you're 3-string on. D, the E minor, and you can do the E minor with only just the 1 finger here, and the B7. And you could even do the B7 this way if you're just starting out. So let's start with the introduction. We're going to be doing 1 line of 4 bars. The chords are G and E minor. I'm going to be strumming twice per bar. So now let's look at the verse. The verse has 16 bars, so it's 4 lines of 4 bars each. So let's just strum our way through using 2 strums per bar. The chorus is 8 bars long, followed by 4 bars of the introduction, which acts as a link to the next verse. And the harmonic rhythm slows down, which means that the chord changes are less frequent. In this case, the first 3 chords last for 2 bars each, so 4 strums each.
So this piece is in 6/8. Now what that means is there's 6 quavers in a bar. But what it really means is that there are 2 beats in a bar. So that's 2 stamps of the foot, 2 sways of the body, 2 clicks of the metronome. And those 2 beats get divided into 3 each. Now there are a few songs, there are a few pop songs that we know that use very similar pattern. 'cause everybody cries. They call the rising sun, and nothing else matters.
Now that we understand 6/8 time, let's look at some ways we can improve and spice up our strumming. To start with, let's use 6 strums per bar, counting 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now you notice there that I emphasize the first and the fourth beats. That strengthens the 6/8 time, otherwise we get just 6 beats, which sound like nothing. Next, what we can do is add some up strums. These would come in between the 6 counts. For instance, we can do 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6, which would sound like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's add some finger picking. We're going to be using a classic 6/8 finger picking pattern. First, let's try the pattern without any chords. The thumb is going to be playing on the bass of the 6th string, the index on the 3rd string, the middle finger on the 2nd string, and the ring finger on the 1st string. So the pattern is thumb, index, middle, ring, then back to middle, and then index, and then it repeats. The fingers are going to stay in these 3 strings, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st, but the thumb is going to always be playing the lowest note of the chord. So in the case of the E minor, it's going to be the 6th string, and the same for the G. For the C chord, it's going to be the 5th, the same for the B7, and for the D is going to be the 4th string.
One of the things that makes the Jeff Buckley version of the song amazing is that it's just the guitar and the voice. Now he spices up the guitar part by doing some really cool things. One of them is adding passing notes between the low notes, the thumb notes of the chords. So think of it like if you're going from step 1 to step 3, then it's stepping on step 2 in the middle. So it makes a smoother line, sounds more musical. And another thing he does, instead of playing 1 bar of C and then 1 bar of D, he plays 1 bar of C, and then the next bar, which should be changing to D, he holds that C chord and it gives this kind of floating effect before going to the D. Kind of like those little cartoon characters that run off a cliff and then they just hang in the air before they realize that there's gravity and they fall.
Let's look at some of the ways that Jeff Buckley embellishes the guitar part. Firstly, he uses an E minor 7 instead of an E minor chord in the introduction. So G to E minor 7. He also uses passing notes. So you notice that I'm playing the F sharp between the G and the E minor. He uses another passing note at the end of the first line of the verse, going from the B to the C. He also changes the contour of the arpeggio. He cascades down twice in a row instead of going up and down. So it sounds like this. In bar 6, instead of changing to the D chord straight away, he holds on to the C chord for an extra half bar and also using the cascading arpeggio. Finally, instead of using a B7 with a bass on the B, he uses the bass on the D sharp, which leads very nicely to the E minor chord. Now let's play it through adding all these details.
You know, if you talk to a hardcore Leonard Cohen fan, they would definitely tell you it's not his best song. I'd really encourage you to check out, you know, at least on that album, Various Positions, there are 2 other songs which are incredible. There's If It Be Thy Will, the last song on the album, and Dance Me to the End of Love, an amazing love song. And Hallelujah kind of sits in the middle, being somewhere between a prayer and a love song. The great thing is that so many people came to know Leonard Cohen's music through this song, which became so popular. Of course, there have been many notable covers. The Jeff Buckley cover is probably the most famous of all, but the cover by Katie Lang is beautiful, incredible piano part, and of course the Rufus Wainwright. Actually, one of the first people to ever cover it was Bob Dylan. I mean, imagine having Bob Dylan cover one of your songs. I mean, that's just insanely cool, right? Leonard wrote, according to some sources, he wrote up to 80 verses for this song, and then he just chose his top 4 to record on the album. And then when he used to perform it, he'd perform different versions. In fact, if you listen to the recording of him, you can see the video on YouTube of him playing it in London when he was, I think he was like 72 when he went on the road. He does 6 verses live, and on the recording he only does 4. Of course, Jeff Buckley sings slightly different verses, so does John Cale, because people would hear him live, and they would hear live recordings of him playing it, and they'd pick up on the different verses that he had written and choose the ones that they liked. I always think of this song as like the perfect evidence of how little attention people really pay to lyrics when they hear a song. When you consider that you have this, like, it was on Susan Boyle's Christmas album, and this song has nothing to do with Christmas. I mean, it's all Old Testament biblical references.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed. Tabs for everything that you've heard today is available at our Patreon page,
including the special, unique The House of Everybody Matters, which you won't find tabs for that anywhere else on the internet, believe it or not. So please do join us there and come on this journey with us. We're also going to put loads of other tabs of things that we haven't even made lessons for, and of course there are all the other lessons with all of their tabs, so we'd love to see you there.
And we're launching an online jam session called
Guitar Dojo. So we're launching an online Guitar Dojo. You can go check it out on Patreon. Keep playing, enjoy, and see you next time.
See you soon.